going to show you how to operate a Belshaw Donut Robot in as close to real-world conditions as possible. In this video, we're going to make cake donuts and mini donuts. This machine is a Donut Robot Mark II, but most of what you see here will apply just the same to any donut robot. You should never go too fast or do anything that you're not completely sure is safe, and you should read and understand the manual before you operate a donut robot on your own, without an experienced person to help you. What's the biggest reason you should be very careful? It's right here. The shortening in this fryer can be as hot as 375 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 190 degrees Celsius. Even a small splash from hot shortening can cause burns if it comes in contact with your skin. Even with clothing and gloves, the shortening can still burn. So always be cautious and careful, and never ever put your fingers into hot shortening. You should also try not to allow any shortening to land on the floor. Hot or cold shortening on the floor could cause you or someone else to slip. Please try and clean it up as soon as possible. So let's get started. This is how a typical donut robot might look after it's been left overnight. The shortening is solid, the depositor has been left out to dry and has not been put back. Go ahead and plug in your machine. And if this red light doesn't come on, check the breaker in the back. Now turn the temperature dial to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, or 190 degrees Celsius. This is the most common frying temperature for cake donuts. The red light next to the dial should come on. Now if the hopper and plunger were left off, put them back in position. The depositor has two hoppers. One is for standard size donuts, the other is for miniature donuts. The standard hopper has one hole at the bottom, and the plunger is a single plunger. The miniature donut hopper has two smaller holes at the bottom, and the plunger is a double plunger. We'll use the miniature plunger first. Slide this into the cutter head. We tighten the bolts. The double miniature plunger will have a hole which we line the pin up with. Then we attach the connecting rod. It's exactly the same for the standard size cake donuts. By the way, the manual refers to this part of the fryer as the cutter head. This is the hopper, this is the plunger, and the whole thing is the depositor. It's convenient to keep the depositor off to the side like this, except when it's actually dropping donuts. Now connect the plug. The small screw has to face upward to make it fit. Hold the depositor switch down in the prime position to make sure that the plunger is moving smoothly. After the fryer has been heating for about 15 minutes, the shortening should be mostly liquid. You should check whether or not to add shortening at this point. If the level is below the bottom of these chains, you could add a little shortening. When frying, the shortening level should be no higher than the top of these bars. To add shortening, use one of these methods. If you have an easy melt, make sure it's turned on, the shortening is liquid, and the hose is properly positioned. Then push the foot pedal to add shortening. If you have a shortening reserve tank, add shortening and wait for it to melt. Then push the valve button. Use oven gloves if the valve is hot. Otherwise, carefully add shortening with a scoop or other implement which will keep your hands away from the fryer. Use gloves and cover your arms for safety. Don't drop chunks of shortening in, slide them in slowly. When the temperature reaches 375 degrees, the shortening level should be no higher than the top of the flight bars. When the temperature of the fryer gets up to about 300 degrees, this makes it a good time to make the cake donut batter.